Thanks to the Dominion defamation lawsuit against Fox, we now have even more evidence of Fox's personnel, I should say, privately doubting the 2020 election fraud lies that they publicly championed. Okay, so let's talk about what we know. Yesterday, the Washington Post published a detailed article about the role that Fox News senior vice president Raj Shah played in the network's internal civil war on that matter. Now, Shah served as the White House deputy press secretary and deputy assistant to the president from 2017 to 2019, meaning he was part of the Trump administration. Shortly after he left the Trump White House, he was hired by Fox News, where he served as an intermediator between the network and the White House. So basically a liaison of sorts. Now, in the aftermath of the 2020 election, Shah was tasked with managing the anger of Trump and his supporters over Fox's election coverage. The problem was that Shah, like many others at Fox, didn't buy the election fraud lies. So here is what we know based on the documents that have been released as a result of the lawsuit. As Rudy Giuliani railed about voter fraud from the lobby of the Republican National Committee's headquarters a few weeks after the November 2020 election, Shah let loose in text messages with his reaction. Quote, "This sounds so effing crazy, by the way," wrote Raj Shah, who had served as a senior aide in Trump's White House 2 years before his hiring at Fox. Quote, "Rudy looks awful," a deputy wrote back, prompting Shah to respond that he objectively looks like he was a dead person voting 2 weeks ago.
They gotta give it to him. That guy at Fox News is funny.
There's more though, there's more. Now remember, these are the exchanges that are happening internally, right? They're making fun of Rudy Giuliani. They think the election lies are insane, but publicly on their broadcast, you get a different picture. Now, on the day after Tucker Carlson publicly challenged Sidney Powell, that was one of Trump's lawyers who was furthering all these ridiculous election lies. A Carlson producer weighed whether Carlson should devote time in his next show to Powell's claim that she had an affidavit that would link Dominion to Venezuela. Might want to address this, but this stuff is so effing insane. Vote rigging to the tune of millions? Come on, Shah wrote. Carlson's producer, Alex Pfeiffer, responded, "It is so insane, but our viewers believe it, so addressing again how her stupid Venezuela affidavit isn't proof might insult them."
Oh, we gotta stop right there. I mean, that right there is the killer quote. That is Tucker Carlson's producer saying the things that that our viewers believe are insane. But if we tell them that it's insane, they might be insulted. So they know they're actively lying to their audience because the audience wants to be lied to. Isn't that exactly what we told you? We've been telling you that for years, right? And here it is. I mean, you couldn't get better proof, documentation from inside the building. The producer saying, these guys are nuts, but what are we gonna do? We can't insult them, so we have to keep lying to them.
No, look, I know we've talked about this before, but this latest batch of messages, I think is the most extreme evidence of how much they despise their audience and how little they think of their audience, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so, we're gonna insult them, might wanna avoid that, that's one thing. But they really think their audience is stupid, and that stood out to me. So Pfeiffer, who has since left the network, answered that debate dance was surreal, like negotiating with terrorists, he added.
Wow.
But especially dumb ones.
Wow.
Cousin effing types, not Saudi royalty.
He's saying basically his audience,
oh my God,
is worse than Saudi royalty and is particularly dumb terrorists. Tucker Carlson's producer. So, and today Tucker's in the news talking about how Trump might be a little autistic.
Jesus.
So,
Jesus.
Guys, look, it's capitalism. That every market needs to be served. And unfortunately, there's a segment of American media that says we're gonna serve the part that is the most gullible. And we don't really believe what they believe, but it's just a product we're selling. You think all the different products out there, the businessmen believe in all of them? Oh, that's the anti-aging stuff, the weight loss stuff. No, a lot of the executives don't believe in any of their products. And this product is, oh yeah, right-wingers are always right, man. Even when we lose elections, we win them. Oh yeah, sure, Venezuela stole our election, right? Oh, you guys should always be in charge. Who cares about democracy? Democracy doesn't mean equality. It doesn't mean the good person who wins the most votes wins the election. No, democracy means white people rule everybody else. Oh yeah, I love that, I love that. So that's the product that they're peddling.
Yeah. On January 3rd, 2021, Raj Shah wrote a text message that said, "It's really disheartening. The only clear-cut evidence for voter fraud is the failed attempts from Trump." I mean, it's just so clear that they didn't buy any of the claims coming from Trump's camp, but it didn't matter. They flirted with those ideas. They promoted those ideas on their show. They had people like Sidney Powell on, Rudy Giuliani on. But Shah's biggest priority was keeping Trump's base happy. That also stood out from this latest batch of messages. When a Fox News reporter went live on air just after Giuliani's news conference concluded and declared that some of what the president's lawyers said was simply not true, Shah reacted with alarm. "This is the kind of stuff that will kill us," he texted the deputy. "We cover it wall to wall and then we burn that down with all the skepticism." And like others at Fox, he considered, I guess, retracting the Arizona call. So remember, Fox News was the first to call Arizona for Joe Biden because Joe Biden won Arizona. That made Trump supporters very angry with the network. And so apparently Raj Shah was like, "Want to ask, even though it seems impossible, but is the idea of some sort of public mea culpa for the Arizona call completely and totally out of the realm? Or some programming that's focused on hearing our viewers' grievances about how we've handled the election?" Shah inquired on November 10th of Fox News PR chief Irina Briganti. And I guess they squashed that proposal, which is good because it's gonna make you look even more clownish. Like, what do you mean mea culpa? You guys got the call right.
Yeah,
like what?
And they all knew they got it right. And so we did a story earlier about more of these quotes that came out earlier where tons of people, including Bret Baier, their straight news guy on Fox News, was like, well, there are other factors. They never outlined other factors. In other words, our audience doesn't like that we told them the truth, so can we retract it? So guys, look, there's two ways you could look at this story. If you're a Fox News viewer, you could say these guys, it turns out, are liars and they are betrayers, right? Tucker Carlson thinks Trump's an idiot, Sidney Powell's insane, etc. Hannity, Laura Ingraham, none of them believe Trump, none of them believe that the election was stolen. Murdoch, the owner of the station, none of them believe it, right? So it's true that they're kind of betraying you in that sense, right? But there's a second way of looking at it. Did you ever consider that maybe it isn't true that the election was stolen? That the reason that all those people at Fox News and all the people that work in the Trump administration think it wasn't stolen was because it wasn't stolen? Because 60 court cases in a row showed no evidence of it being stolen? So it's possible that it's both things. Yes, they're lying to you and betraying you, but it's also not true that, oh my God, if they just stuck with Trump, we would have the real truth. Not even remotely true. So you might want to reconsider your worldview. I know you're never gonna do it if you're a Fox News viewer, but here's all these people telling you, and they're the ones that fed you the lies in the first place. It's definitely lies. So up to you on what you want to do with that. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.